Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. Welcome to this webinar on active learning for engagement in virtual setting. I'm Jana Ibrahim from the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, Kuliah of Engineering IIUM. Before we start, I would like to give you a bit of intro of my webinar today. This webinar is conducted to prepare KOE staff in preparing for the upcoming semester, which is tentatively in mid-October, and we know it's not that far away. So I prepared this topic to give a better understanding on how we can engage our students during class by implementing active learning technique. With that, I hope that this webinar will be useful to all of you, as it is very useful for me, especially while preparing for the upcoming semester. And before I start again, this is a bit of disclaimer. Since I'm conducting this session solo, so I hope all of you can bear with me a little bit if there's any hiccups while managing the G-Meet, like allowing participant into the webinar, or when maybe I will take a while to read all the chat or all the messages in the chat box. So please bear with me, but I'll promise you that I will try my best to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And before that, before we start, let me do a bit of technical checking. So, okay. I hope that you can hear me loud and clear. So, if you can hear me, please type Y in the chat box. Okay, and if you have any problem, you can type N for no. Okay, and also I would like to ensure that you can see my slide clearly. Okay, so if you have any issue, just write at the chat box. If you can view the slide clearly, just write Y, and if not, we can you can write N. Okay, so we look at the chat box now. Oh, okay. So looks like everyone is typing Y. So I believe that everyone is hearing me loud and clear. Okay, so all as we know, okay, that this is the COVID-19 pandemic. Due to this pandemic, is inevitable for us to not using online platform for our teaching and learning. So whether we like it or not, we need to embrace this online system, and that's why I prepared this webinar as simple as possible, and I hope by at the end of this 1 hour session, we can be able to plan our active learning. Okay, any active learning activities for our virtual class, or at the very least, we can identify types of active learning activities that we can try use in this online class. Okay, so because active learning usually active learning activities, okay, previously we usually more of face-to-face setting. Okay, and that's why we try to adapt these active learning activities in virtual class. Okay. Okay, you can scan the QR code or go to the website. Okay. Is it recording, Dr. Atia? Can you? I think it's recording. Yes, it's right. Okay.
So in this Mentimeter, I would like to know what is the problem and issue we face when we conduct online learning. So I give you 2 minutes and you can give me your answer. It's easy. It's no right or wrong answer. I won't give you any marks. Later, I will show you the answer. Okay, so maybe during our online class, right, we just conduct the classes virtually, okay? And we always face the problem. So what do you, can we just share something? What is the main problem usually we have in our online class? Okay, you can write your answer at the chat box. Anyone? Yes, the students are too quiet. Ah, they don't want to engage us. Okay. So why do you think they are that why they do like that? What happened to them actually? Dr. Nadira? While we waiting for others to answer the question in Mentimeter, okay? Why do you think the students are too quiet? Maybe they are not used to it. Maybe, yeah, because it's new in this online setting. The student and the lecturer, both parts, both parties are like new to this condition. Dr. Farah said when they talk, they would talk simultaneously. So difficult to pinpoint who's talking. Yeah, when they want to talk, they would just switch on the mics and they just go for it, right? So which one? Okay, so I would like to stop sharing and share the answer of our Mentimeter. Okay. Okay. So only 8 of you, but we have 14 people here. Why the rest hasn't answered my survey? Okay. Maybe they cannot access to the Mentimeter. Can you access the Mentimeter? Please, yeah, type Y for yes and no. Oh, thank you, Dr. Afifa. Okay, so if we can see here, they are concerned when conducting online classes. Okay, first, we as instructors sometimes feel isolated from the students. Like me here now, I'm talking, but I feel isolated. I'm talking to the screen, basically, right? So that's why I'm keeping asking questions to all the participants. And I hope all of you don't go away or fell asleep, okay, during my webinar. Secondly, not only us feel isolated, students also feel isolated from the instructors and classmates, okay? And then it's difficult, okay, like Dr. Nadira said, it's difficult to get student engagement or involved in any activities because when you ask them to do something, they will just click, 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 right? Click, 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 keep quiet. Okay? Okay, and then we are, because of all these problems or issues, we are not sure whether the students are really learning or understand the content that we deliver, right? Okay. There's another question as well, but I think only 2% answer it. Have you ever used active learning approach in online setting? You can answer it now if you haven't answered it. You can also answer it in the chat box if you don't want to use this Mentimeter. Okay, have you ever used active learning approach in your online class setting? Yes? Or one answer is in most class sessions. That's good, okay? Because we want people to get engaged and don't fall asleep, okay? Okay, and frequently, okay? Anyway, in this webinar, I want to just give an awareness that we need to engage our students in our learning activities, and also we need to try to encourage. So I will advocate everyone to use active learning in their online setting. Okay, so I think that's all for the survey. I will stop sharing my Mentimeter. Okay, and let's go back to the slide. All right. Okay, so the burning question is, okay, how do we really know our students are learning, right? How do you really know that your students are learning? Can you share your opinion? You can type your opinion at the chat box. How do you really know that your students are learning during your online class? Uh, I give you like 3 minutes. Anyone? Or you can on your mic. We can share experience here. Like for me, I used to do my class like during ERTL. I use my most of my classes were using Telegram. So I will give them pre-class assignment or some pre-class exercises, and then I will discuss the exercises again at the beginning of the Telegram class. So if you want to share your experience, you can write your experience in the chat box. Anyone? Dr. Nadira, any experience? How we can, I mean, when you do, how the burning question I'm asking just now is, how do you know your students are learning during your online class? Okay, let me give you the answer. We don't know, of course, unless we have. Yeah, Dr. Nadira here. When I ask question about programming, they could answer my question. Yes, okay. So when you ask question, they will give you answer. So the answer that they give is a kind of feedback. So if we want to know our students are really learning and understanding what we deliver, we need to get feedback from our student. Okay, so like Dr. Afifa, Dr. Farah said, okay, give pop quiz. Yes, we give exercises, but they need to give answer or give feedback, right? And the other one maybe the student could answer. Yeah, when the lecturer is asking. Okay, thank you, Dr. Fatila. So which means we need to get feedback. That is the most important thing in our online session. We need to get feedback from the participant or from the student. Okay, so that's why from there we can evaluate whether you know your student are really learning or not. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Okay, so maybe you will ask me what is active learning. So have anybody heard about active learning before? You can type yes in the chat box. If this is the first time you heard about active learning, you can type no or N at the chat box. Dr. Afifa, yes. Dr. Natasha, yes. Okay, Doctor, all KOE staff is yes. That's good. Easy task for us, for the KOE facilitators. Okay. Okay, but slightly forgotten. It's okay, Dr. Fatila. Okay. So what do you really think of when we say active learning? What kind of learning do you think it will be? I will ask question to Dr. Afifa because she said yes. Okay, so what do you think about active learning?
As
Okay.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. As for me, I think active learning is we give some info and then we direct the student and then we just facilitate and give them more space to explore the knowledge instead of we teach everything to them. That's what I understand from active learning.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Afifa. Yes, you teach, you just give not all, you just give a little of that and then you ask the student to discuss on that. Okay, so but where do you think the active will come from? Dr. Afifa, can you elaborate more?
The active means the activity done by the student. If I think that's will be the area where it's supposed to be active lah compared to us giving the lecture. That's the
Okay.
active part.
So it means we will give active activities so that they will maybe go everywhere in the classroom, like go in their groups, right?
Yes, yes.
Try to solve, discuss. Okay, that what you mean, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so that's a good example. Okay, in definition, your active learning is what students do, whatever activity they do, or do anything in class in order to learn the material other than listening to the instructor and taking notes. So that is a simple definition that I can give you for active learning. So it's whatever activities that is either not listening, okay, and taking notes other than that. So why we want to do active learning? Because active learning, okay, these activities must help disconnected, unalert student to see the value in the course material, which means like if you're just listening and taking notes, sometimes your mind will drift it away, okay, and think something else, like think about the food that you're going to cook for lunch or the food that you want to buy for lunch, okay. So you're not listening, you're not practically alert, right? So you can do whatever activities that going to help disconnected, unalert student to see the value in the course. Okay? Because why? This can help when the student are alert. It will help the learning process. They can retain more information, okay, in the long run, and it will improve their performance in exam. Okay. Oh, Dr. Natasha said active learning. Dr. Natasha said active learning will there be and activities will be where there will be student engagement. Okay, that's also correct. It's whatever activities which exclude this listening and taking notes only. You of course we need to listen, but if the activities is only listening and taking notes, that is not active learning. Okay. So let me give you a bit of history. Okay, this active learning pedagogy is traced back to 1991 and is pioneered by Charles C. Bonwell and Jason Eason. So it rejects the idea, as I mentioned just now, passive listening to subject matter, and also it encourage these techniques encourage interactive learning activities, and this is to engage students. So what Dr. Afifa and Dr. Natasha written on the chat box is all correct. Okay. So What do you think the benefit of student who involved in active learning? You can write your answer in the chat box. Benefit. Benefit. What do you think the benefit? What are the benefit to us as lecturer? Anyone? What do you think if you create an activities, okay, that highly involve the student, okay? So what is left? What is your, job task then? It will be less time, right? The benefit, we know the level of student understanding of the topic. Yes, we can know that if we get feedback, and then we will see whether the student really learning and understand the session. Okay, for us, for the lecturer, we will have less time talking, less time lecturing. Okay, so you don't need to talk for like in IIUM, we have 1.5 hour or 1 hour, 20 minutes, right? So you don't need to talk for the whole time. Okay, yes, Dr. Nadira, it will make our task easier. Yes, it's easier for us to conduct. So less talking, or so less stress. Okay. Okay, and then what else do you think the benefit will be for student? Oh yeah, Dr. Noria said can get away to solve a problem. Yeah, do you want to elaborate, Dr. Noreha? What do you mean by that?
Oh, I mentioned that we can get a different way to solve a problem, okay, but at the end we will get the same answer, but the method, okay, the method they use to solve the problem will be different.
Okay, thank you. So when we do active learning and we do sort of discussion, right? Maybe the student divided into groups, right? You give one problem and you will see several methods of solving the questions or the problems. Okay, that will be really interesting in programming, right? Okay, so there are lots of benefits we can see both for the lecturer and the students, okay? And the most important thing is the student can identify the most significant item they learn during the session. So during the session, they grasp the idea what is the teacher is trying to tell or trying to teach, right? So that is the most important thing. The student can quickly identify, or the lecturer is trying to teach us how to do this, okay? Okay, so I want to share, there's a study from the University of Washington. The finding shows that STEM student, okay, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics students who were exposed to active learning strategies will attain 6% increase in their exam scores compared to peers that only exposed to only traditional lecture-based approach. So there's a studies showing that using this, the results of the student, the understanding of the student increase. Okay, so it is about time that we can try to implement these active learning techniques in our online class, inshallah, next semester. Okay? Okay. So everyone okay with this? Do you have any question so far? Anyone? You can type yes if you have question, or no. You can type no if you have no question. Everything is okay. And you will say like, we try this. We implement active learning next semester, inshallah. Okay, no. Okay, thank you. So what is this about? Okay, so I want you to watch this video. I will do a bit setup first to make sure that you can watch it. Okay, window. here. Okay. So I need to do this, right? Okay, so this in this video, I want you to watch it carefully, and I will give you answer. I will give you answer. I will give you some question afterwards, and I hope that you can type your answer in the chat box later on. Okay, so are you ready? Please type ready if you are ready, and type no if you're not ready. Okay. Can you see the screen? Okay, you see the professor here? Yes, okay. Okay, thank you, Dr. Afifa, for the answer. Okay, let me play the video.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the the Great Depression, passed.
Oh, before that, can you hear the video clearly, or it's not that clear? Not clear, or it's okay. Not clear. I try because already maximum here in my. But you just watch the expression. Okay. Let me repeat again. It's already. Let me check whether I can increase the sound output. It's already max. Okay, it's already max. Sorry for my end. This is the best I can give you. Okay. Anyway, just look at the video.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the the Great Depression, passed the the tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which raised or lowered, raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression. Today, we have a similar debate over this. Anyone know what this is, class? Anyone? Anyone seen this before? The Laffer curve. Anyone know what this says? It says that at this point on the revenue curve, you will get exactly the same amount of revenue as at this point. This is very controversial. Does anyone know what Vice President Bush called this in 1980? Anyone? Something DOO economics. Voodoo economics. In 1930.
Okay. Okay, so I need to stop the presentation. Okay, so let's discuss the videos. Okay. So the video is about like a teacher on economics. Okay. He gave a lecture in the class, and what do you think about the response given by the student to the teacher? You can turn on your mic if you want to share your opinion. No reaction. So there's no response. The student just like look at the lecturer, the teacher, and just like, okay, what is this? No response at all, right? Okay. So yeah, the lecturer talks alone. Anyone? Yes, that's correct. The lecturer has been asking anyone, and no one answered. Nobody answered. Okay. So what kind of feedback do you think the teacher gotten from the student? What kind of feedback? That is a feedback, right? There's a signal sent by the student to the lecturer. So what kind of feedback do you think? Not interested. Yes, they are not interested at all with anyone asking anyone. Okay. It's a It's a boring, boring feedback, right? And it's a negative, it's not a positive feedback, right? Even one of the student is like sleeping. Okay, so um, what do you think the problem with the teacher? Yeah. Okay, Dr. Nadira said that they are not given enough time to digest the information. Yes, they are not given enough time to digest the information. The lecture just give. Okay, anyone the teacher give the fact of the class, but don't really spend time to get feedback from the student, like asking question and then he answer back the question, right? Yes, Dr. Natasha, thank you. That goes to my next question is, what do you think we can do differently to make that economic class session interesting? Okay, we have the answer here. Dr. Natasha said the lecturer should mention the name and wait for them to answer. Yes, wait for them to respond. Okay, we cannot just give all the information and give the answer and we answer it back. Okay, we need to have give them some time to think and respond to our question. Okay, so if you that is a face-to-face, right? In the video is a face-to-face situation where we can see the feedback directly in our face, how the student react, right? But how we can know the reaction or feedback of student in online setting? Okay, do you have any idea of that? You can write the answer in the chat box. How do we get feedback from the student in online setting? Okay, anyone with the answer? You can write at the chat box. Yes, you can. Oh, okay. The answer is from using chat box. It's like in this GMAT session, we can get answer feedback from the chat box, or you can ask the student to turn on mic or turn on the camera and give feedback and opinion directly without writing anything. Okay, so that is how we want our student. If we want our student to learn better, we want them to engage and don't just ask question. Anyone who wants to answer, and then we need to give them some time for them to digest and get information. Okay, so why we need active learning again? Because this is the cone of learning. Okay, from here we can see that after 2 weeks, okay, we tend to forget most of the thing. Okay, most of the thing we learn, we will forget. We will forget the thing. Okay, for example, if we watch movie, okay, if you do video presentation or you create video for your student, okay, 50% of them, okay, we only remember after 2 weeks. What is your video about? Okay, if you give them reading assignment, of course, only 10%, and because 90% of them don't read, on that 10%, only 10% we remember, or that is 10% the one that doing it. Okay, if you just give a lecture or podcast, okay, only 20% we remember. Okay, so that is why we need to really encourage or design our class to have this active learning, because 70% and 90% of the student will remember, will retain the information, okay, after 2 weeks. All right, so why we need to do that? Because this is our attention span. Okay, as human, we have very limited attention span. Okay, in this graph, okay, this is the percentage of student paying attention versus time. Time started your from start of the lecture. So if you can see this interesting curve. Okay, my question now, can you tell me the nature or the shape, the nature of the shape of the attention curve here? Okay, you can switch on your mic and share your opinion. If your mic is not working, then you can type. Okay, anyone? Yes, the Prof. Maiziwan, yes, after 30 minutes, we just left with, I think, maybe 10% of our attention. Okay, we don't really care whatever the thing that being delivered anymore, right? The longer the time of the lecture, the less attention given. Yes, you are correct. Okay, so that's why I will just briefly introduce you with this active learning activities, okay? Because I have only like 20 minutes. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to engage students with informal groups activities in online setting. This is, I'm talking about online setting. This is the active learning continuum. We have this on my left side is the instructor focus, okay, where most of work that instructor can do, okay, to provide active learning. And at the right hand side is the student focus. So we will, in online learning, we want to focus in the middle part where the lecturer can create informal group activities during the session and create collaborative learning, okay? And student, we can give students structured team activities, divide them in groups and ask them to do some tasks, like each of them have different tasks and they need to fulfill this task. And that is what we can do in online setting. Okay, so these are some active learning strategies from the simplest to the complex one. Of course, in online setting, we cannot, it's difficult, it's not we cannot, but it's quite difficult to do like site visit, experiential learning or forum theater or all this complex stuff. So I would suggest that we can do with simple stuff, okay? Active learning strategies. These are activities that you can include in your online session. For example, pause for reflection. Okay, you can create in the middle or at the end. You can ask the student what is the thing that you learn in this class. Write it in the Google form or in the document, and then or they can also respond with audio. I mean, you ask them to turn on the mic and give them ask them to respond. So they can we can ask them what kind of knowledge they gain from the session. So that is pause for reflection. Okay, you can also ask them to do informal group discussion with Google Classroom. With Google Classroom, you can do it. You can with Gmeet. For time being, we don't have the breakout session, breakout room. So not sure when we'll be having that. But in Zoom, you can do group discussion. So you can divide the student into several groups and discuss about some theme, okay? Okay, so these are the strategies, okay? In your online setting that you can do. We call it the bookends division. So you have 1 hour, right? For example, in this webinar, I have 1 hour. So what kind of activities I need to do to get involvement by, from participant? Okay, so at the beginning, what you can do is we can have the advanced organizing, usually 5 to 6 minutes, okay? And this is like you can get warm up the session, like you give introduction and you give awareness to the student, what kind or overview, what kind of session you are trying to conduct. And then you can, after that advanced organizing, so you know that the student is already in tune with you, so you can start the lecture. This is serious matter, okay? All the information serious in matter, and then you can do some activities, short activities. So you can see the duration of the lecture is longer than the activities, okay? And you can do this some repetition, so maybe 1 or 2 repetition of this lecture and activities. And then we go to the summary, where here you can do reflection. Okay, activities means you can try to incorporate some of these activities in the middle of your session, okay? And then you can do the summary. Okay, so I have one question. Okay, if you do this kind of book and division strategy in your class, what do you think that the effect will be in your students' attention curve? Okay, so I believe that if you do this, you will have some effect on the attention curve, right? So what do you think the effect will be? So you can share your opinion here, or you can on your mic, or you can write the opinion on the chat box. Okay, if you do this kind of planning for your online class, okay, what do you think? What do you think will change? I will show you the attention curve. What will change here in this attention curve? Okay, anyone? Anyone? Oh, activities. Example of activities is here. This is type of activities. As I mentioned just now, I elaborate a little bit about pause for reflection. Okay, so for example, you ask the student at the end of this certain knowledge delivery. Okay, you ask them what do they gain, what knowledge do they gain, and then what did they think that they can improve on. So that is a reflection. Okay, did I answer you, Dr. Adiba? This some, because I cannot explain all of this type, because this active learning strategies is more fun if we do it face to face. If you do it, if we conduct a workshop on this active learning strategies, we can try most of these techniques. But because this webinar is very short, 1 hour, so I cannot really, but I can just explain a little bit. Okay, you can also find this online. Maybe the online facilitator can conduct some training on this. Okay, inshallah. Okay, my question, forgot the question. Okay, so if you do this book and strategies, division strategies in your online setting, what do you think the attention curve will be affected, or how the attention curve can be affected? Okay. Okay, so let me answer some opinion in the chat box. So Dr. Afifah said, we will be able to make students involved before they lost their interest, yes? So if they are involved in, they alert, like they're trying to drift away, so you catch them back. So the attention will be, recovery period will not decrease. Yes, maybe the attention will loosen a bit, because Dr. Farah said the curve will not decrease. Yes. Dr. Mazia said student will be more engaging in this class session, yes, the student will engage. So once the student engage, what happened to their attention curve? What do you think? Yeah, Dr. Malik said it will help student to recall immediately chunks of information. Yes, okay. And okay, Dr. Nora said the curve might go up again at minute 30. Okay, all of the question, all of your answer are really, really correct. Okay, let me show you. So yeah, this is I drew the red line. Okay, so if you do this or try these strategies in your online setting, you can see that, okay, for example, when you start your lecture, is people pay attention, your attention increase, and then when you give the lecture, it will decrease. But when you do the activities in the middle, okay, they will stay alert, right? They need to stay alert. They are forced to pay attention from that activity. So that's why the attention curve will increase back, because they need to think what are the situation. They need to discuss with their friend. They need to do active thinking, okay, during that time. So that's why the curve will not go until 10%. They will increase, and then when you do lecture again, maybe they will decrease and then increase back with the activities. Okay, so if you look at this figure, it's just like a capacitor where you charge the student and then recharge it again. So after charging, of course, they will release, go down, and then it will recharge again with these activities. Okay, so there's a study in 2004 that saying that short-term recall. So what we're trying to do with this book and division is we are trying to give short-term recall with pause. Okay, and this short-term recall will improve will improve student performance. Okay, so try that, inshallah. Okay. So next, before we end our session, is strategies, how we can implement this active learning. Okay. This, I give you the example, okay, because because of the time. So this is my planning strategies for my webinar. I give the topic and then I write the learning objective. Okay, so in each session, it is advisable that you try to do this learning objective, what kind of LO, okay, learning objective you want to achieve during the online session. Okay, and I give the table, create the table by time and subtopics. So at the beginning, you can follow this structure. Okay, maybe for 1.5 hours, you can create the plan. Okay, and then what is the topic? I want to give awareness, okay, of online learning to all, and then I give activities. What kind of activities for the participant, so that they can get the idea of awareness. They are aware that we need to do active learning. Then I will start to go to the knowledge. Okay, I talk about what is active learning, blah blah blah. Okay, and then I give some activities. Activities means I get response from you. I get feedback. What your experience with active learning? Maybe what do you think advantages of active learning? So that is in terms of knowledge. Okay, delivery. So we make sure that we cover the background of active learning. Okay, so that's the planning, and until the end of this session, actually I want you to prepare your plan, but it's not maybe it's not suitable here. Okay, maybe we can discuss about the techniques. Okay, so let's discuss about the techniques. I want you to identify types of active learning used. Oh, there's a spelling error here. It's okay. Okay, so can you identify types of active learning method used in my webinar? you can share your opinion audio, or you can write in the chat box. Okay, can you identify the active learning methods used in my webinar? Mentimeter, yes, Mentimeter. What kind of that? Survey, right? Yeah, survey. We want feedback. I get feedback from the participant. What else? Yes, Dr. Natasha, that's the keyword I want to find. Brainstorming. In this session, I do brainstorming. I ask opinion, and then I ask you how you can improve the lecturer just now. The anyone lecturer. Okay, you give ideas that okay, the lecturer should give time for the student to respond. Okay, recall. Yes, Dr. Malik Arman say recall. Okay, so you can see I give a lot of activities that require the participant to think and share their experience for this session. Okay, so we have 3 more minutes. So any question? You have any burning question? If I can answer, I will share with you. If not, we can do another session, inshallah. Anyone? Okay, so before that, we will also, I would just like to give an announcement for the, especially to KOE staff. So we will be having a clinic. For staff who wanted to learn more about iTalim or Google Classroom. This is for managing your material online so that you can be better prepared for next semester. So we will publicize this clinic later on. Okay, so if you feel that you need clinic, we will try to help you one-to-one for this session. Okay, so okay, Dr. Natasha said, if for a subject that involves a lot of calculation, what type of activities can be done? Okay, and Dr. Malik said, can active learning use in engineering courses? Of course. I answered Dr. Malik the question first. Of course, we can use active learning activities in engineering courses, of course. For example, for programming, for example, you can give a challenge to the student, like, okay, make a group and then solve this case study. And each of the student must have their own part to solve. Okay, and they can present it using virtually. So because programming, you just need the software, right? So they can do it at home and they can collaborate with each other and make sure the long program will run properly. So that's one example. And I really encourage, like, all of us try to conduct active learning in class. Okay, so for calculation, okay, so actually for session, maybe for calculation, you need to use some tools like online whiteboard, for example, Jamboard or Miro. Okay, so there are a lot of tools, but make sure the tools are really easy, user-friendly, and also the student can easily understand to use it. Not sometimes the tools are quite difficult, so that is quite frustrating for the student, because in online learning, again, for engagement, we need the student to feel safe. We need to create an environment for the student to feel safe so that they can participate. They feel safe to participate. If they feel that, oh, using these tools will make people think that I'm not that good, embarrassed, so they don't want to use the tools. So you need to choose tools that can help them and they feel safe using it. They don't feel that they're going to be embarrassed by hiccups or something when using the tools. So for Dr. Natasha, we can try using tools, maybe online whiteboard during your session. Okay, Dr. Zakaria MZ says, how will we know the student interested with our online class? Sometimes I just felt that they are doing something else. Yes, that's why yeah, of course we don't know they're doing something else, like they're sleeping or they're eating or whatever. We don't know. But if we try to give them exercises, okay, that need their participation, so they will stay alert and they won't, at least half of the class they are there and they're not running away, right? So we need to try to do some activities that get their involvement. For example, discussion. I think in online learning, one technique is good is we do separate discussion in separate rooms, but that function is not easily for Google Meet. Inshallah soon, I don't know. I need to ask Dr. Atia. But for Zoom, it's good. There's a breakout room, so you can do that, and you can give assignment to them, and they can work in groups. That is the one way to make sure that the students are there. Okay, so I think last call. So if you don't have any question, just type no. Okay, if you have any question, you can stay and type your question in the chat box, because it's 12 o'clock already. Okay, no, Dr. Fatila, no, Dr. Afifah, no. I hope you can get some benefits from my webinar. So I hope you can understand my webinar. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. See you again. Inshallah, we will prepare more webinar to all of you. Inshallah. Okay. Okay, thank you, everybody. Enjoy your lunch and enjoy your day. Don't be stressed. Relax. We are allowed to stress next semester. Okay, Assalamualaikum. I think no question, eh? Okay. Okay, see you. Assalamualaikum. Thank you very much for coming.